A very good day to all our viewers and welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel. We are coming to you live for the second race in the 2015 Champion Motorsports Sprint Series, which is sponsored by Woody's Lures, suppliers of lures and flies to make your fishing trip a success. The race today is at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Always struggle with that new name. It was originally known as just Mosport, and that was so much easier to say. Situated in Ontario, Canada, where we will once again see the BMW Z4, the McLaren MP4, the Roof Track, and the Ford GT in action. I'm Richard Losper, and with me in the broadcast booth is Kevin Brown. Our director is Joe Peak, who uses the great camera sets provided by Dougie Beard. So Kevin, Mosport, we all know this track very well. Tell the viewers a little bit about it.
Yeah, Mosport's a great one. Just a little under 2.5 miles, fairly short track. 10 turns, all kind of linked turns, meaning you're still kind of transitioning from one when you get to the next. And all these corners, they are fast. Short, soft braking zones. Lots of elevation changes in the middle of them, between them, outside of them, inside of them, everywhere. Elevation changes. And two signature points to look at. The Moss hairpin, that super difficult double apex right-hand corner that leads onto the very long Andretti straight. It's probably where we're going to see most of the action tonight when we're not watching cars spinning off the exit of turn 2, which is this long line downhill left. So Mosport, a fun track to race, one of my favorites. Very difficult to pass here tonight, though.
Yeah, thanks for that, Kevin. That's a very good description there. Well, guys, we're getting close to qualifying now. The amateur guys are out there qualifying. 16 minutes gone, so about 10 minutes of qualifying left. We'll soon see the pro guys get out on the track if they're not out there already. Let's talk a little bit about the series standings. Now, we've had one race in the series so far, which was won by John Paquin in a Ford GT, as I recall. A very, very good race. Thoroughly enjoyed that one. And Kevin, in the Pro Series, we've got our top 5 as John Paquin, Jason Lundy, just 3 points down. Then Marcel Moose, -5, so that makes him 5 points down. In 4th place, Hugo Barbosa, a further 2 points down. And of course, Justin Brunner in 5th place, 9 points down. After one race, of course, they're pretty close. How's it looking in the Pro-Am?
Well, the Pro-Am, and these are the drivers that generally are under 1,600 in their I rating, give or take, and then some drivers are cycled in or out, depending on their performance in the series. But based off her first Pro-Am win, Julie Redman is in first place in the class, sitting on 27 points. In second behind her is David Slee. Darren Leslie is the final podium spot. And then Rick Smith and Drew Lidke round out the top 5 there, Richard.
Yeah, and there are quite a few, well, there are a lot of very, very good drivers from what we saw in race 1 in this series. And that's because quite a few of them have some real-life racing experience. Mike Ruder, for instance, races late model stock cars, as far as we know. And Jerry Hamilton is involved in the SCCA G production cars. And a few of the other guys involved as well. Chris Hamilton races motorcycles. John Paquin, who won the first race, he's also involved in the G production cars in the SCCA. And that's just to mention a few. So Kevin, we've got a lot of time on your hands, so why don't we talk a little bit about these GT3 cars. They have awesome power, but they're quite different in their handling characteristics.
Yeah, they are a little different in their handling characteristics. I don't think we're going to see a lot of variation today. This is a similar track to what we saw last time out at Brands Hatch with driving characteristics, although I think, on balance, we should see the roof. Actually, I think will have a strong advantage based off its ability to put the power down, getting out of Moss hairpin, leading onto the big long Andretti straight. That is an advantage that's going to be tough to overcome for the other cars. But the BMW Z4, very well balanced all around, will be a strong contender. The Ford GT loves high-speed corners and fast tracks, so this is another place where it should be good. And it looks like John Paquin has been busy setting the pace tonight. Again, we're kind of at a place where the car depends on the driver, really. How comfortable are you in that car, in that setup, and that's going to be the strong advantage tonight, I think.
Yep, no doubt about it. And certainly John Paquin knows how to handle that Ford GT3. Well, we do have a lap guide for you. So let's show that lap guide, Joe, and people can see how or what it takes to get around this track. Well, we are back. You've just seen the lap guide in the Z4 driven by our own Kevin Brown, I believe. This is a tough course, make no mistake. In the description of this course, it tells you that many a driver has struggled with this track because it is so fast, and these cars are super powerful, Kevin. It takes a lot to pilot them around this track.
Yeah, it sure does. We're kind of seeing that a little bit tonight. Only one driver, John Paquin, has dipped into the 1 minute 15s at all. Everybody else is a significant ways away behind them. But, with the big, huge Andretti straight, I keep kind of harping on about it, but for a good reason, because the draft on that back straight is so big that all you need to do is just kind of stay in touch with the car in front of you, and the draft on that long straightaway will allow you to catch back up to them. And then you can kind of continue the battle. So you can actually kind of wind up running a lot faster than you would normally expect just by being able to stay in that drafted car in front of you. So that's going to be part of the strategy tonight is seeing if you can't stay in the draft of the guy in front of you, or is that guy holding you up because it's so difficult to pass here. If that guy's holding you up, then maybe you want to get your pit stop out of the way a little bit early and then get out on some clean track. But again, that draft, man, you really want to stay in it.
Yeah, that's true. And I tell you what, I've got a fair amount of experience on this track in various cars. That turn number 1, as you hook to the right there after the short front straight, that is pretty hairy, and it is extremely fast. And these cars have to be careful. There's a big wall on your right-hand side, and there's a lot of grass on the left-hand side, which if you catch that grass, it'll sling your car all the way around back into the wall. So very tricky turn 1. And then of course Mosport, we all know Mosport has that very famous Moss corner, which is a double apex 3-part turn, really, a hairpin as well, and it's blind in the approach to it. So a very tricky corner there for these cars, Kevin.
Yeah, actually, kind of all these corners are tricky, but One of the advantages these guys have in Moss Corner is that lovely, lovely ABS that they can really rely on to lean on it and let the car and the electronics and the computers kind of figure out how to keep you from spinning. Let me tell you, that's a great advantage there at Moss, don't you think?
I do. I don't have that much experience in these cars, although I have been driving the McLaren a fair bit recently. But they're all pretty similar cars, and they do have a lot of grip as well. So it's going to be very interesting. Well, guys, let's have a look. We are getting close now to the end of qualifying. 25 minutes of qualifying virtually done. Just a few seconds left. So the couple of cars still out on track there. I'm watching Kevin Hennings at the moment. But I think we're all but done with the qualifying, Kevin. So why don't we go ahead and list the qualifying times? Only one or two guys haven't set a qualifying time yet.
Yeah, I'm with you, but I'm watching Drew Lidke looking like he's putting down a pretty good Q lap right now. So maybe let's give it a little bit of a second here.
All right. Still 1 minute left, so I guess you're right. But at the moment, we can tell you that John Paquin in the Ford GT is at the top of the table with a 1 minute 15.778. Now, that's a really good time. The nearest to him, Kevin, has got a 1:16. So he's about 4/10 faster than anyone else at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. 4/10. That's going to be tough to deal with. So John Paquin looking like the early favorite right now, just based off that qualifying pace for sure, Richard.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I'm impressed with Tom Rathie as well. In the first race, we saw that he had a really good run early on, and then he had an unfortunate incident there at Brands Hatch, which caused him to have to pit very, very early. And I think from memory, Kevin, he ran out of fuel at the end there as well. So he's had a bad run in the first race, but he's there at the moment in 4th place on this track.
Yep, and it looks like qualifying is over. I don't see any cars on track, so I think, Richard, it is safe to go ahead and call out the qualifying order. And I do want to say that Drew Lidke did actually move himself up a spot on that lap, so I was right, at least in one respect.
Yeah, you did. So, well, let's go through the standings then. In first position after qualifying is John Paquin. Then we've got Ricardo Mendez in second, Hugo Barbosa in third. Then Alan Nieves in 4th, Daniel Rice in 5th, Tom Rathie in 6th place, Drew Lidke that we were watching earlier in 7th, in 8th place Miguel Alcrudo, in 9th place Jarrett Lawson, and in 10th place Julie Redmond, the only female driver I believe in this race.
I believe so. And 11th is Kevin Hennings. Nice name there, Kevin. 12th, Brad Wren. 13th, Darren Leslie. 14th, Justin Bruner. 15th, Jason Lundy, looking a bit far off the pace from where we normally expect to see him. 16th, Christian Hoogveld. 17th, David Slee. 18th, Anthony James. 19th, Rick Smith. And 20th is Robert Tarbox.
Yes, indeed. And in 21st place, we've got Tim Collier. Or Collier, I believe he's known as. 22nd place, Peter Hebron. In 23rd place, Mike Ruder, pretty far back there. Troy Fagan in 24th. Jay Dargett in 25th. Kyle Heron, 26th. Jay Friels in 27th place. Warren McGarry in 28th. Sonny Prince in 29th place. And bringing up 30th place, David Anderson, who's one of the league administrators.
In 31st is Jerry Hamilton. 32nd, Alex Peterson. And Darren Gonzalez recorded the final qualifying time. We do have 2 cars on the grid, Javier Torres and Simon Goodwin, who did not set qualifying times. I think those are for penalties, but to be honest, I lost that information.
And guys, we've got a drama already. John Paquin is sitting on the starting line, hasn't moved an inch. The pace car has already moved off, and he can't get his car going. There he goes now. He's finally got going after everyone else, about 20 cars streamed past him, if not more than that. So our pole sitter trying to get back into position, Kevin.
Man, that's embarrassing. I wonder if he was just. Well, I don't know. I shouldn't hesitate. And I do want to confirm that Jason Zonder, Peter Devine, and Javier Torres all had to serve penalties from the last race. That's why they did not qualify, as well as Mr. Goodwin and Andre Martins, who is not in this race tonight.
Well, folks, we have a rolling start to these races. So right at the moment, John Paquin is now caught back up to the pace car and takes his position in first place. On the outside of him in the first row, Ricardo Mendez, and then Hugo Barbosa and Alan Nieves in the second row. So the pace car is quite far ahead of these guys at the moment. Ricardo Mendez is in a roof track. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys take off. What's the strategy, Kevin, do you think, if you, a couple of rows back on that really short straight in the opening lap?
I think my official advice there is hope and pray to your God of choice that nothing happens in front of you to wreck you. There isn't much strategy that you can plan for on the whole first lap at Mosport. I think you just have to be good at reacting, I think.
Well, we're getting very, very close to a start now. I'm looking back from Hugo Barbosa's car in the second row. He's in third place. Going to be interesting. The pace car now goes into the final turn before it takes off. The cars have to negotiate one more turn before they can start. They'll get the green flag very, very soon. The green flag flies. John Paquin takes off, followed by Ricardo Mendez. Third place is overtaken by Alan Nieves. He falls into line now in fourth place. And then in fifth place, we have Daniel Rice, who has overtaken, and then Tom Raffy in sixth place. So Tom Raffy shuffled back a place there, and of course third place Hugo Barbosa also shuffled back a little there, Kevin.
Indeed, and Richard, one thing we've neglected to mention is the orange passing zone. These guys are not supposed to pass, or at least without prejudice, until they get through Moss Corner on the first lap. So hopefully that's helped keep things a little clean, although we got news from our director that there are two cars off. I can't figure out who they are, though, Richard.
Yeah, me neither. I'm looking at the screen here, and I don't see them. I just see John Paquin at the moment, so we'll have to leave that for the moment and carry on with the race. John Paquin leading. Ricardo Mendez already back quite a bit from John Paquin, so he's stamping his authority on this race very, very early. Now we've got Hugo Barbosa overtaking on that very fast right-hander. Now they go into an equally fast left-hander. Good driving here from Hugo Barbosa, moves into third place.
And David Slee, I think he was running about 17th, spun on the inside of Moss and then took a tow back to pit lane. Didn't hit anything. I don't know what was going on there, but great move there up front.
Indeed, and so we've got, let's have a look. So we've got the Ford GT piloted by John Paquin in first place, Ricardo Mendez in a roof track in second, and Hugo Barbosa in another roof in third place before we see the first BMW. Looks like the roof have some advantage here. We've got a battle going on into turn two. This is very, very risky. Alan Nieves goes through into third place. He gets tapped from behind now by Hugo Barbosa, and very risky moves early on in the race there, Kevin.
Yeah, maybe, but definitely if you feel like you're getting held up by that other driver, get around him as quick as you can. Tough to pass. If you've got an opening, attack. That's kind of my opinion. Looks like that's what Alvin did. Barbosa now needs to fight back, at least stay in this draft, but he's got Daniel Rice and that Puffin Racing Z4 hot on their heels. And
we are getting information that Hugo Barbosa does have some damage from that knock. It is not quite apparent from where I'm looking. Let's have a look at the front of his car. Yes, looking at the front of his car there, Kevin, the Pro number 113 has quite a bit of damage on the front there. That's going to do bad things to his aero.
Yeah, and probably definitely going to affect him on turn-in, which is really, really important here. And I'm watching Miguel Acrudo move onto the inside of Daniel Rice, two blue Z4s. Nicely done. Acrudo takes the position in that darker blue Z4, and Daniel Rice in the Gulf Oil Scheme color card behind him, and his teammate Tom Ratchey right behind him as well. So let's see as we go. And there's another Z4 slow into Moss, checking up, nearly catches Hugo Barbosa out, which almost catches Miguel Alcrudo out. Guys stacking up here.
Yeah, some really good racing happening here, overtaking already. We've seen into some of these really fast turns. Just looking at Tom Rathy right now, who is sitting here in 7th place. He is behind what looks like teammate Daniel Rice and then Michael Acrudo. So these guys are coming up to finish lap 3. Meanwhile, John Paquin streaking away there in 1st place and then followed by Ricardo Mendez. It's kind of what we saw early in the first race as well, Kevin, excepting that at the moment here, I think that John Paquin has a bigger lead at the beginning than he had in the last race.
Yeah, John's definitely checked out a little bit with that nice second lead over second place, but Ricardo Mendez also a little even bigger lead. 3rd place, Alvin Nieves. But I gotta tell you, right now I'm watching Jason Lundy all over the back of Justin Bruner, who's all over the back of Brad Wren, who's all over the back of Kevin Hennings right now, each other. And I shouldn't mention Darren Leslie as he's moving up on the inside of Lundy right there, takes the position away, goes in a little deep, catches Lundy out. I think Lundy was trying to do an over-under, and that didn't work out very well for him. So Lundy's slow to the power. We'll have to see if Lundy's be able to catch up here into the S's.
Yeah, great move there by Darren Leslie into Moss corner, which is a very tight corner. He just streaked by Jason Lundy, really. And now Jason slowish through the right-hander there. Very, very fast right-hander. Now the left-hander coming up to the final corner, just past the pit entry. And Jason Lundy, good through here. Has a look on the inside there, decides no, can't do it. And Darren Leslie getting away from him into turn 1. Good racing here, and ahead of them it looks like some more good racing there. Justin Bruner behind Brad Wren. Now Brad Wren and Justin Bruner are in 12th and 13th place respectively, so some really good racing in the pack here, Kevin.
Indeed, and I want to point out that this battle between Darren Leslie and Jason Lundy, these are drivers in different championships. Jason Lundy in that 100 series car with the blue number plates, the cyan number plates, that means he's the pro class driver. Darren Leslie with that 200 series number and the green number plates, that means he's in the pro Am Cup series. So these guys are fighting for different championships, but they're taking points away from each other. So Lundy wants to get in front of Darren Leslie to get those points for his battle, and Leslie wants to hold on to those extra points as well. So even though these guys are fighting for different championships, they still want to fight each other to get those points. And we should point out Ricardo Mendez, he's less than half a second, a third of a second behind John Paquin right now.
Well, that's good driving from Ricardo Mendez. We saw some really good driving from him previously. But right at the moment, I am looking at a train of cars. Let's go all the way back to Daniel Rice and go forward from there. So Daniel Rice sitting now in 6th place. In front of him, we've got Javier Torres, and then in front of him, Miguel Acrudo, and then in front of him, Hugo Barbosa, and then Alan Nieves. Now, this is a 5-car train. We see getting some information. Go ahead, Kevin.
No, that's from our director. Apparently, there's a wreck. I'm desperately trying to find it here. Daniel Rice and Tom Ratchey made contact. So 2 teammates, I believe, getting into each other a little bit. Not really what you want to do here.
Just having a look at that right now. Didn't look too serious. They're both still running. Daniel Rice. Tom Rathy got by him, so it might have been a move by Tom Rathy in the pro car there to get past his teammate Daniel Rice in the Pro-Am car. He's got it done, but hopefully he's not carrying any damage there. Let's have a look at that, Kevin. What are you seeing right now?
Well, to be honest, I was watching this Jason Lundy Darren Leslie battle. Jason Lundy was all over the back of Leslie on the Andretti straightaway, and I thought he might make a move, but no, he declined it. So Lundy not really attacking Leslie right now. Not really sure why. As I see him poking nose on the inside of turn 2, he tats Darren Leslie. Leslie spins through turn 2, manages to hold it so far, but no, he's into the wall. Sides as well. Lundy unfortunate, and they get passed by Hoogveld.
Yes, indeed. That is pretty bad for Darren Leslie. We might get a replay of that, which the director is way in front of us. Here comes the replay. You see there a tap from Lundy, spins the car of Darren Leslie. Darren Leslie hits the wall, comes back on track, but he'll have pretty bad damage there. Jason Lundy, no doubt, a little contrite after that move there, Kevin. And we go back live.
Yep, and I'm trying to see does how much damage that Darren Leslie has on him right now.
Pretty bad, mate. He's sitting in the pit lane right now, waiting on the toe, and the left side of the car looks pretty bad.
Well, fortunately, these guys do get a free reset. That is to say, essentially a brand new free car whenever they want it. So Leslie apparently going to take it right there. But back up front, John Paquin and Ricardo Mendez only separated by 1/3 of a second right now. So this battle is back.
Yeah, it seems to me, Kevin, and this is just a little bit of guesswork on my part, but with this track being such a high-speed track, do you think perhaps the Ford GT already perhaps suffering some tire degradation?
I would think it's a little early yet to see some tire deg. I mean, we're only on lap 8, so we're barely 10 minutes into the race, you know. Yeah, there's somebody blew their motor.
Yeah, seeing a lot of smoke ahead of Paquin is Simon Goodwin, who his car looks pretty damaged, so he must have had a hard hit on the wall. He's struggling to get it back into pit lane. Is crabbing all over the place right now, and this is very, very dangerous for all the cars coming through. He's on the outside now. He gets onto the inside so he can get into pit lane, and the other cars safely through. Kevin, that was a few hairy moments for the approaching cars, no doubt.
Yeah, it looks like Simon Goodwin was all by himself, spun it on the left-hander, the approach to Moss turn 4, and backed it into the wall. Big, heavy damage, as you can see, obviously, and elected to drive it back through so he wouldn't have to take the tow penalty. Gets his free car. He's probably going to top up on fuel, get tires, and away he'll go. Yep,
and we saw that on the replay. We've just gone back live from that. Looks like his car looks brand new in the pits. He's, of course, this is virtual racing, so he's technically still towing, so he won't be able to go. There he goes now. He's got his free car, and away he drives again. Brand new car. Very, very fortunate to get away with that. But let's go back to the front. We were watching Ricardo Mendez and John Paquin before that incident. It seems as if you're right, Kevin. John Paquin has got it together. Maybe he was just taking a moment to do something or other. Not quite sure what, but he's put the foot down now again, and is out ahead by what looks like about 2 seconds again.
Yeah, and we're seeing right now Nieves and Barbosa are just kind of going at it. Looks like Barbosa is desperate to get around Nieves, kind of showing his nose everywhere. Miguel Alcrudo was right behind them, but I'm thinking he may have backed off a little bit. He thought he might be seeing a wreck here. So these guys are very close to each other right now. Not sure how this is shaking out, because it was looking pretty dicey there for a moment, Richard.
Yeah, and Barbosa is behind Nieves, but coming up on the back of these two is Miguel Alcrudo, and he's not far behind as well. So we'll keep an eye on this battle, because I got a feeling that this Nieves has got the inside covered right now as they come into the kink area. Now he closes right up there. He goes to the outside. He's not going to get it done from there. Whoa, and they touch, and here's trouble. They've touched. Hugo Barbosa had to back Alcrudo, who was lurking just behind him there, Kevin. So once again, a touch there, and a bad outcome for the driver making the touch.
Yeah, it is tough to pass there. It's such a high-speed entry corner that it's just really, really difficult to make happen. Unfortunately, they didn't make contact. You can go in there side by side and run all the way through the S's, but good save by Barbosa to keep the car on the track and still pointed. Didn't lose too much time. Needs to gather himself up and go attack.
Yeah, we just saw that on replay. And remember that Hugo Barbosa has a car with damage already on the front from a previous incident. So he is certainly acquiring more damage as the race goes on. But let us look for a battle here. Let's go to Tom Rathie, Joe, and let's have a look and see where he's at. So currently, he looks like he's sitting in about fourth. Well, he's sitting in sixth place at the moment, not making any inroads on the guys in front of him just at the moment. That is indeed Hugo Barbosa in front of him. With the damage, we want to see if he can make an inroad and catch Hugo Barbosa, which you would think, Kevin, he should be able to do with the damage that Hugo's carrying right now.
Yeah, that's possible. But, not far behind them is Jarrett Lawson, who's all over the back currently. Daniel Rice going into turn one. Rice and Lawson, and then not far behind them is Julie Redmond. They've actually been able to close up a little bit to this battle. So it looks like Lawson in that kind of cool camo-colored roof. Looks like he might be interested in trying to get around Daniel Rice. I'm not sure how easy that's going to be to do.
Yeah, indeed. And it just strikes me that the roofs seem to be more comfortable on this track than the BMWs, even though the BMWs seem to have a little bit more. As we see now, Jarrett Lawson closing up in Moss. Now he goes, gets a good exit out of Moss. He messed that up. He should have got on the inside straight away. They didn't do that. Didn't get the power down. Now he tries on the outside. Bad move, Jarrett. You want to be on the inside. You can't overtake from the outside. Maybe you can, I'm not sure. But we saw what happened earlier on with Michael Acrudo and Alan Nieves. So he backs out of it wisely there, Kevin. Not easy to try and do it from the outside here.
No, it's not, but I'm going to go ahead and toot my horn and point out that I did do that for a position change for the lead. There's a car in the wall right there. That was Tom Rathie.
Tom Rathie. Let's get a replay of that. Tom Rathie straight away into the pits. Let's see what happened to him here. That was pretty well. Let's see. He's coming around. Tom Rathie still looking good. Coming around into the final turn. Takes the left-hander. Goes into the final turn now. And spins it. Hits the wall pretty hard front on. And that's going to give him a lot of damage. Now, I'm not sure whether he wasn't in the pits previously as we go live again, but certainly he'll have to get a new car, which it looks as if will happen. But, Kevin, he was past the pit entry, so it's going to be a long tow round for him.
Yeah, I think that's about as long a tow as he can get. And speaking of tows, Jarrett Lawson getting a great one right now on Daniel Rice. Looks to the inside, can't do it, goes to the outside. Rice defending a little bit. Jarrett Lawson's got the advantage on the outside, can't brake late enough, and Rice going to sneak it back up. Lawson has to check on the brakes to stay behind him and not run him over. So that one didn't work for you, Jarrett. Got to try it again.
Yep, it does look as if he's got the speed to make the pass, but he just doesn't, the opportunity is just not good enough for him to do. And I really think he needs to try and steal that inside line from Daniel Rice in order to effect the pass. But at the moment, he's all over the back of Rice, letting him know that I am here. Daniel, you make one mistake and I'll be passed. Daniel doing some really good defending there, though, Kevin.
And I'm watching a battle right now for 18th and 19th. Tim Collier and Rick Smith. Collier taking it in side by side on turn one. Just able to hold it. They're still side by side approaching turn two. They nearly touch. And Rick Smith takes it back in the DuPont colored McLaren. Both of these guys in McLarens. That was some great side by side action there for two corners.
Yes, and we did have a look at that. It's not over yet, although now we see Tim Collier just falling a little way behind Rick Smith. As they go into the very fast left-hander approaching Moss Corner. I want to say that here we'll have an opportunity to see Tim Collier, so we'll just stay with that again. Good exit from Tim Collier, not so good from Rick Smith. He powers up onto the back of Smith. Can he get a run on him? He's right behind him in the draft. He goes to the inside, and the door gets closed on him a little bit, but he does have the run on the inside. I think he might get it done. Rick Smith decides to back out of it wisely, and Kevin, now we see Tim Collier making up that place with a good move on the inside. That is what Jared Lawson has to do.
Yep, and I think I called it a DuPont colored car. It's actually a Southwest sponsorship, kind of similar. Reminds me of the old DuPont Jeff Gordon paint schemes. But yeah, great move by Collier there to go ahead and take away that inside line from Rick Smith before Rick had a chance there. That was a nice battle, nicely done. I got to applaud Collier for that, indeed.
Yeah, now we're going back to Hugo Barbosa. Let's have a look and see what's happening here. Hugo Barbosa in a damaged car. I want to have a look at that damage again and just see what's going on. So let's see if I go there yet.
Sorry, there's that lap car. There's contact. Nieves and Barbosa spinning around. They got held up by the lap car, and Barbosa couldn't check up enough and ran into the back of Nieves. Just barely touched another car involved. That's Javier Torres gets collected as well. All kinds of damage here. Cars all over the place.
Yes, that's terrible. And in fact, now if we look at Hugo Barbosa's car, his car is very, very damaged now. I wouldn't be surprised if he parks it in the garage right now. He's entering pit lane, but there were other cars involved in that as well. He got collected by two cars. That makes it 4 incidents in one stint there for him. So not a good race here for Hugo Barbosa. And we're still watching it on now we're going back live now, so let's have a look here what is happening right now. I'm looking just down the field. Daniel Rice, Jared Lawson, let's go there. That battle is still on. Jared Lawson, let's see if he can make a move now on Daniel Rice. What can he do? He's back on the rear of him. He's trying for the inside. Daniel Rice will have none of it. Sticks to the inside like glue. But now Jared Lawson has a good run. This time he might get it done if he can cut back in. But Daniel comes back at him, and he maintains his speed on the outside through the turn. Looks like Kevin, he did what you did, and he managed that managed that overtaking maneuver from the outside.
Yep, it can be done. It's difficult, but it can be done. But now Jarrett has the lap car, Jerry Hamilton, in front of him. So Daniel Rice is going to be hoping that the lap car is going to get involved and slow him up, check him up, maybe allow him a chance to attack back.
Yep, Jared Lawson coming up on the back of the lap car, has to check up severely. And that should put, now he gets past going into turn 3. The lap car goes to the outside. That's Jerry Hamilton. And Daniel Rice gets held up a little bit through turn 3 as well. So now that has given Jarrett an opportunity to, as they go into Moss Corner, to... great entry into Moss Corner by Daniel Rice. And he was right on the back there. But a great entry, unfortunately too fast, meant a bad exit. And he's fallen behind Jared Lawson on the exit there. So some really good racing. Joe, let's go to Julie Redmond. This lady is doing some really, really good things with the 257 machine, and very clean at this stage. In fact, before I say that, let me have a look. No, car is very clean, looks good, running a great race here, and currently sitting in 7th place overall in that Pro-Am car number 257.
So I would like to actually move back a little bit to 16th and 17th, Troy Fagan and Alex Peterson. And of course, as soon as we do that, they're as far apart as I've seen them over the last few laps. But for the last few laps, they've actually been within a couple of tenths of each other, about a quarter second, and having a nice little battle. A pair of roofs here, both handsomely painted roofs. I should point out, love that Rothman's paint scheme on Alex Peterson's car. But a couple of guys doing a pretty nice job, staying clean. They were a lot further back to start off the race, and by staying clean, they've moved up forward quite a bit. So guys having a good little battle. Alex staying just in the draft of Troy Fagan, really helping himself out here.
Yeah, and it looks like just make mention of the fact that Hugo Barbosa still running, strangely still running, and still on the lead lap. Let me see if that's going to hold true as he crosses the line. Yes, he's still on the lead lap after all that troubles that he's had. There are some guys that are lapped down now, so we'll have a quick look at that. Tom Rathie is a lap down. Tim Collier and a whole bunch of other guys. Rick Smith also a lap down. So the leaders are coming through and starting to overtake cars and put them a lap down. Now, let's check in at the front of the field. We haven't done that for a little while, so let's go to Ricardo Mendez. Still trailing John Paquin there by about the same sort of gap that we saw when we last came here, Kevin. And now a little bit of lap traffic coming up in front of them. John Paquin will have to deal with that first. That's Jay Dargett, who will go down another lap by the looks of it. He's already one lap down. John Paquin comes up towards him. Let's see how he deals with lap traffic here. Meanwhile, we're having a look at Ricardo Mendez just behind him to see what he can do in that roof. Black and yellow, mostly black from the rear here, but yellow in front. That is actually Hugo Barbosa's teammate by the looks of things. So doing a great job there, Kevin. Now they'll come up to this lap car and let's see how John Paquin and Hugo Barbosa handle this. Should be pretty easy for them. Jay should just step out of the way and let these fast guys pass, don't you think?
Yeah, and actually I got to correct you a little bit, Richard, while you were talking, running through some of the guys a lap down. Mendez was only about a half second behind Paquin, had been for a long time, but then he absolutely ruined his entry into turn 3, the corner he just went through right now, lost almost a full second in one go. And you can see John Paquin easily around the McLaren of Jay Dargett, doesn't lose any time. Ricardo Mendez should be able to actually not lose any time either, get a good launch out of Moss, and should be able to pass him on the straightaway, especially with a little help if Dargett lifts off the throttle.
Yes, sir. Now, I want to put the camera on Drew Lidke. This is the first of the McLarens in this field. John Paquin is in a Ford GT. Ricardo Mendez, of course, in a Roof. Michael Accrudo in a BMW. And then we have the first McLaren. So in the top 4, each of the classes, or each of the cars, I should say, are represented. And then, of course, we've got Jared Lawson also in a Roof, who looks to me as if he's got the bit between the teeth right now. He's making inroads on David Lidke in 4th place. And then another BMW with Daniel Rice. So that's your top 6 right there. Julie Redmond in a very, very good 7th place. Having a look at Daniel Rice very soon, I would imagine. Daniel is also in a McLaren. Looks like he's got a little bit of damage on that car, which is why Julie, here's a battle coming, Kevin. Julie Redmond coming up on the back of Daniel Rice right now. It's a lap car. My my apologies. That's Anthony James, a lap car, and I was about to call a battle and I was completely wrong. Apologies for that one.
Yeah, it might have been amusing. Just let you go. Daniel Rice in the blue and orange BMW in front of Julie. I'm not sure you can see that on screen, but that is about a 2-second gap. So Julie has some ground to make up if she wants to get in there. But Jarrett Lawson and Daniel Rice, 5th and 6th, they could open up fighting any chance now. Excuse me.
Yeah, now, I was calling Drew Lidke and Jared Lawson just previously, and Jared Lawson looked like he was making up some time. He's also about 2 seconds, maybe a bit more than 2 seconds behind Drew Lidke, and it looked like he was closer in the previous lap, but he seems to have fallen back a little bit. So easy to make a mistake in this car, and it'll cost you in time, no doubt.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's so easy to make a mistake anywhere on this track, and it will cost you badly. As we saw a little bit ago, or at least I saw with Ricardo Mendez and John Paquin. Unfortunately, we didn't see it on screen. But yeah, Ricardo just making a small bobble on the entry of a corner and losing the draft to John Paquin. But they've been running close together. Been able to, well, I say close together. They stayed about the same distance apart, I should say.
We are looking at Troy Fagan at the moment. Sorry there, Kevin. On replay, Troy Fagan spun by the looks of it. There we are. We can get it again, hopefully. Let's see. So Troy Fagan in a blue and white striped car, coming up to that sequence of turns before. Now this is the final turn before getting onto the front straight. He spins the car. Doesn't look like he hits anything at this point. No, he got the car stopped and he gets going again. Great save from him. He didn't save the spin, but at least he saved himself some damage on that car. That's Troy Fagan as we go back live.
Yeah, it ruins the battle he had with Alex Peterson. Drops him back to 17th behind Hugo Barbosa and Alan Nieves. So in danger of getting lapped if he hasn't been already. And if timing and scoring hasn't caught up, now I'm a little confused. I managed to confuse myself. But, hey, we lost Ricardo Mendez. No, sorry, he's in pit lane. Second place has gone in pit lane. He's serving his pit stop.
Yep, Ricardo Mendez definitely in pit lane. The 107 Pro machine sitting there. Car comes down off the jacks now. New tires on. He comes back out. The pit lane is fairly long coming out with a big wall. You can't really see what cars are coming up. You have to watch your F3 monitor very, very closely to see who's around. But he gets out safely and he's on his way now. If he's made his first pit stop, let's have a look here, Kevin. We are on lap number 23. The race is 1 hour. We've done elapsed time is about 34 minutes, so about halfway. So the pit window is definitely open, and he nearly spins on cold tires coming out of Moss Corner there. This is Ricardo Mendez. So now we'll wait and see, Kevin, when the other cars pit. Some of them might elect to go a lot further and just take a splash and try to get an advantage by adding less fuel. Do you think?
Possibly. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be taking tires in this because it's just too short a race. And I'm watching Kevin Eddings nearly go off the track in turn 2, dealing with the lap car of Jerry Hamilton. And looks like Tim Collier going to sneak by. Jerry Hamilton, unfortunately, kind of been in the midst of the wars today that we've seen. But to get back to, yeah, I don't think anybody's going to take tires. So it's just going to be all about fuel. So the later you can, the later you can stop, definitely the better you'll be able in your pit stops.
Well, Kevin, I'm surprised by that because I was watching Ricardo Mendez. He took tires, definitely took tires. Just before he left pit lane, you could see the car coming off the jacks there. So he took tires. He's now in 13th place. So I agree with you. I mean, taking tires, the race is 1 hour. The tires should be able to carry you through 1 hour. It's going to be interesting to see what the leader, John Paquin, does when he comes in. But generally speaking, I'm not sure what Ricardo's thinking, but he'll have a new set of rubber under his car right now, and he should be a bit faster as he comes up on other cars here now. Mike Ruder just in front of him, and Peter Hebron in front of him. So we'll see. There's Peter Hebron going into the pits. I'm still with Ricardo Mendez. He passes the car in front of him, which was Mike Ruder fairly easily. And Mike Ruder is in a position higher than he is currently. Still has to pit though. So maybe that taking of tires, Kevin, has given him some advantage. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the thinking is there. Honestly, I think it's kind of the wrong strategy call. Quick check-in. Jay Dargert spun on the exit at turn 2 into the wall. Still going, though. Not sure how he managed to survive that, to be honest.
Yeah, look, same team. We always come back to that team there. That's the same team as Hugo Barbosa, I believe. So they seem to be getting into the walls a little bit or getting into other cars, unfortunately. Well, let's have a rundown on the current standings right now, Kevin. So John Paquin is our leader. This is on lap 26 after about 37 minutes of racing. So John Paquin leads this race. Daniel Rice has worked himself up into second place right now. As I speak, Daniel Rice gets overtaken by Julie Redmond, who moves up a little bit into second place just there. I think that was for position, that one, Kevin. That was a good move.
Yes, indeed, that was for position. Am my eyes deceiving me, or did Daniel Rice have some damage on the front of his car?
Well, let's have a look at that. I think you are correct. Let's have a look.
He
Could
definitely
be
has
a little
damage.
bit on the left side.
Yep, so I think that probably hampered him a little bit. Julie Redmond, though, that was a great little pass to get in front of Daniel Rice. Well done.
Yeah, as we were calling the position, so Julie Redmond, I love the way this lady races this car. So clean, and the lines, if you look at the lines, so good. Maybe not the fastest lines, but certainly very, very clean through these turns. And when I say not the fastest, make no mistake, she is not slow. As she streaks away from Daniel Rice now through turn 2, I just like the way she negotiates these turns. Each and every one very, very clean, Kevin.
Yeah, she's being clean and smooth, and that is such a key here at Mosport. If you can be clean and smooth, you can keep it on the black stuff. Keeping it on the black stuff keeps you out of the wall. Staying out of the wall gets you to the finish line, and that's how you get a good result.
All right, well, let's go back now from Daniel Rice in third place. The fourth place is not Robert Tarbuck. That's a lap car. Fourth place is not Tom Rathy. That's a lap car. Justin Brunner is actually in fourth place. I've just been running through the cars in sequence as they are on track. But in fact, Justin Brunner is our fourth place getter, but he is 10 seconds or more back from Daniel Rice. And then the fifth place is Brad Wren. So he's a lot further back as well, another 5 seconds behind Justin. So pretty spread out. But of course, a bunch of these cars have not made their pit stops yet. So it's going to be interesting to see, once all the pit stops are done, how they'll sequence out. But Kevin, 40 minutes done. There's not that much time left as we see Brad Wren going into the pits now. He's had a good race today. Kevin, not that much time left to make your move if you're going to do it. And it seems to me that the closest in position right now is Julie and Daniel. Do they have enough fuel to take them to the end, do you think?
No, neither one is stopped. They've only got about 35 minutes of fuel on board. So we should be seeing pit stops any moment now from most of the drivers. And as a matter of fact, it sounds like one of our top 10 drivers, two of our top 10 drivers are in, Mike Reuter and Jay Friels. Jay Friels is not in the top 10. My apologies. He's sitting in 27th currently.
Yep, Mike Reuter is in. He is currently, or was in 9th place. So he's in there in the BMW. And let's have a look behind him. No, we're back on track now. Everyone else out there. So it just looks like Reuter currently in the pits at the moment. Keep an eye on who's actually not done their pit stops yet.
Julie Redmond in.
Julie Redmond comes in. Daniel Rice comes in right behind. And of course, in front of Julie, we've got David Anderson, who's a little bit down. He's in as well. A bunch of them all in now. So you called it correctly. You have to come in now. So let's see if they're just taking fuel, or if some of them are going to take tires. Daniel Rice now into his pit box. Let's see. No, doesn't look as if the car's going up on the jack. So you're probably right, Kevin. The strategy is to not take tires here. I'm still interested to know how. Who was it? Ricardo Mendes, I said, that did take time. No, it wasn't Ricardo Mendes. I forget now who it was.
Yeah, no, you're right. It was Ricardo Mendes taking tires, who is currently sitting in 4th. Overall, he is the first of the cars that has stopped. And so he's managed to stay in front of Julie Redmond and Daniel Rice, which is the first job that needed to be done.
Okay, so Paquin, correct me if I'm wrong, he has not yet pitted. He's the only car of the top 10 possibly that hasn't made his pit stop. So when is he going to come in? Last minute thing, a bit of a strange tactic here. 41 minutes elapsed already on the clock. You can't have much fuel left in that car, Kevin.
Yeah, it's actually only 37 minutes elapsed, a little bit back. But yeah, Paquin went by last time. Justin Brunner stays out. Jason Lundy, third place. He's going through the S's right now, watching to see if he's going to duck in.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting, these last-minute pit stops. If they get it wrong, the guys who have pitted earlier, like Julie Redman and Daniel Rice, might have them, although they've got a very, very big lead on this. There's somebody in the wall. There is that is Robert Tarbox, a lap car down only one lap, mind you, and sitting in 15th place at the time. Got his car back on track after a foray at turn 2 there, Kevin. Amazing to get the car back, because once you get on that grass there, normally it's curtains.
I didn't see Tarbox going off. I did see Rick Smith go off, though, put it into the wall on the exit turn 3. Is that who you were seeing in the McLaren?
No, that was Tarbox, definitely. He got it back, and he's back on track again. He's now going down the back straight there. But let us have a look here. Jason Lundy showing up in third place, obviously has not made his pit stop yet.
No, he's in. He stopped. He's currently in 11th overall.
Alrighty, so what is going on here? Because
Justin Brunner's stopping right now. He's coming in right now. So I think John Paquin is the only guy that has not served his stop. And it sounds like Miguel Crudo and Jarrett Lawson going streaking by on the inside on Andretti Straight in that awesome camo roof. And now we've got more action as Drew Lidke showing his nose as well. Al Crudo just dropping back like a rock here.
Yep, just saw Drew Lidke go past Michael Crudo, who's got a little bit of damage there, not much though, but maybe driving a little bit conservatively here towards the end of the race. Now, you were saying, Kevin, when all of that was happening, that John Paquin is the only one to not stop yet.
He's in now.
He's entering pit road as we speak. And now it's going to be interesting. So who do we have to look at to see if they can make up some time on John Paquin, although he had a 40-second lead?
Ricardo Mendez is the guy. Remember, Ricardo Mendez was only about a second behind Paquin earlier on before Ricardo went into pit lane. So that's going to be the big one to see. How do they change?
All right, keeping an eye on Ricardo. I'm watching Paquin, who now has taken his completed his pit stop. He comes back out on the track. I think he's going to be easily ahead of Ricardo Mendez, who's only now approaching the second last turn on the course, taking the very last turn. Now that right-hander, love that right-hander, goes down the front stretch now. John Paquin easily maintaining his lead there, but Ricardo Mendez slotting into second place now, Kevin.
Yeah, and I just watched Hugo Barbosa just absolutely destroy Justin Brunner coming out of Moss onto the Andretti Straight, take that 9th place away from Justin, who was just in pit lane. But yeah, John Paquin looking at a 20-second gap over Ricardo Mendez right now. He definitely was the one that had the better pit strategy as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and he took tires. That was very strange to me. The car came down. But anyway, that's history now. Let us see what is happening. So John Paquin, as we saw in the first race, Kevin, unless something really drastic happens here, is going to come away fairly easily with this one, as he's got a 45-second lead by the look of it. I'll just double check that number for you. We're getting a replay from our director. What are we seeing here? The Robert Tarbox getting out on the grass.
We have contact in Moss. Miguel Crudo trying to get past the lap car of Jerry Hamilton, and they made contact on the exit. Both guys still running, but both of them probably not happy about how that one shook out, as now it looks like more action. Daniel Rice
coming up on the back of Crudo.
Go ahead, Richard.
Sorry, Daniel Rice, for position, came up on the back of Crudo with his damage, made the pass very, very easily up the back straight there. And we're getting another replay. Let's have a look at this replay. So now we're looking at Michael Crudo, and Michael Crudo is coming around to the final turn. Guys have had lots of trouble here. No, that's turn 3. My apologies. Yep. And oh dear, I am not seeing any. We're on replay, not seeing any incident happening just yet. There we go. Robert Tarbox up ahead through Moss, Crudo getting into the back there of, oh dear, there we see it. Got into the back of through Moss corner there of what looked like Tarbox. Kept going, both cars, and going down the back stretch now. So all good for these cars. We're still driving. I'm driving with Michael Akuro, staying with him a little bit here. Daniel Rice has passed him well and truly. Drew Lidke passed him as well. So, Kevin, over to you. So, where are we at right now?
I'm watching this battle between Robert Tarbox and David Anderson. Tarbox actually passed Anderson on the outside of turn 1. I'm pretty sure I've never seen that before, but it was effective. And now... go ahead.
Go on. You go ahead.
No, I just thought I was seeing something, but no, I wasn't.
Well, okay. I want to bring some sort of information to the viewers here so they know where we are right now. John Paquin is leading this race, and it looks like he's got an 18-second lead over Ricardo Mendez in second place. Julie Redmond, great drive. I am a fan of yours, Julie. Make no mistake, she is now in third place behind what looks like Tom Rathie, a lapped car there. Great drive as Tom Rathie back into the wall out of Moss there. Looks like, yes, while he did touch the wall but got going again. Horrible race for Tom Rathie there. Julie Redmond in third place. Jared Lawson in fourth place, just passing a lapped car right now of Jay Friels, who lets him go. He stays to the inside and lets Jared Lawson go by. Then the top 5 is rounded out by Drew Lidke, who looks like he's only a matter of a second, 1.3 perhaps, Kevin, behind Jared Lawson. So that might be a little battle in the last minute or so, although there's a lap car in between. Maybe not.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm still watching this Tarbox-Anderson battle, which kind of waned a little bit. Tarbox getting held up in the S's, though, by Darren Leslie, who's a lap car for him. And that allowed David Anderson to kind of catch up a little bit. Go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, Tarbox. I was going to say, Tarbox has been in all sorts of incidents and eventful happenings on the track here. But he's kept going through all of that. And there's another car out on the weeds there in
Jay
turn.
Friels.
Jay Friels in the weeds decides to park it or get back into the pits. And is currently waiting on a tow to happen there. So saying about Tarbox that he's been all over the place, but he's still in there, Kevin.
We better hop quickly over to Miguel Crudo and Alvin Nieves. They are almost side by side on the back straight. They are indeed side by side. Alvin Nieves on the outside in that darker Z4, easily going to take the position away from El Crudo. Miguel must have some damage or something. He is very slow.
Yeah,
as my words fail me, Darren Gonzalez, the lap car, making it very, very exciting for Nieves right there.
Yep, Miguel Acrudo has definitely got an issue with his car. He's just lost place after place, and earlier on he was looking very good. He's still got a bit of speed. As you see, another lap car staying to the outside there. That's Rick Smith, who's got severe damage on his car, being passed by everyone, but still racing and racing fairly hard into turn 3 there. And we've got Darren Gonzalez trying to effect a pass there, but he's a lap car as well, so I'm not quite sure where he's placed. But Acrudo still in there, and Alvin Nieves. So Acrudo trying to get that place back that was taken away from him. So this is for position, guys, this battle here.
Yeah, but
and
right now
we are getting information to go to Rice and Lidke. Go ahead, Kevin.
You can see Rice in the Gulf Oils blue and orange Z4. He was behind Lidke, still behind Lidke. Had the great draft on the Andretti straightaway. Not able to make it happen. Gets a little bit of extra, Daniel Rice gets a little bit of extra rotation there through the S's. Now he's dropped behind. He's got to do it all over again, Richard.
Yeah, yep, that's it. Lap after lap. And we are currently on lap number 37. However, that is not what we're racing towards. As we see Rice out on the grass there in turn one. Very, very risky, but he keeps it together and carries on racing. And El Crudo is looking for a pass, we are hearing. Let's go to El Crudo and see what he's doing. El Crudo now coming up on the back. I think it's all past. Alan Nieves has managed to hold him off. They go down, they dip down on the approach to Moss Corner. He comes in very, very fast into Moss Corner, does a Crudo. However, he does get a very good exit there as well. This might develop into a battle. This is for position number 7, with Alan Nieves currently holding down that position. Michael Acrudo trying to take that position away. He's not quite close enough to try a passing maneuver right now, but we'll keep an eye on this one, Kevin. He comes right up on the back, then has to check up. That was kind of silly. He came up very quickly and then had to check up, and he lost all the advantage he might have gained there, Kevin.
Yeah, still sitting pretty close, though, so I don't think he can worry too much. Looks like he's a little better on exit than Nieves right now. Got a great launch out of the last corner into turn 1. Nieves struggling a little bit, and they get very close to touching nose to tail there through turn 1. Got to keep clean through turn 2, though. And it looks like they are going to stay clean. So this is good for Al Cruda. You need to set up, get a good run through Moss, and be able to launch it through on the back straightaway.
Yeah, I was going to say that it's a little strange to me where that pace is suddenly coming from, because if you remember, Kevin, El Crudo is being passed by all these guys earlier on and didn't seem to have any pace at all. Now towards the back end of this race, suddenly he's discovered some pace again.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he, had a postman knocking at his door. Maybe his steering wheel was getting a little loose on his desk, had to tighten it down or something. Tough to tell in sim racing. All kinds of weird variables. We see cats jumping on keyboards, that sort of thing. But he's definitely lost out here on the back straightaway this time. Al Crudo has needs to kind of gather it together a little bit.
Yeah, and let's just put the camera, Joe, on Hugo Barbosa for a second there. Hugo, you'll remember, was in all kinds of strife at various points in this race. Fell way back. I think at one point he was close to last. And here we're seeing him in 9th place. So looks like if everything goes well, a possible top 10 finish for him. I think that's great driving from Hugo Barbosa to stay in there, Kevin, and get a top 10 finish.
Yeah, that'll be a good run for Barbosa, especially considering the mess that he was involved with in the S's. To still be running and in the top 10, that's a pretty good result.
Yep, and he's coming up on a lapped car into Moss Corner now. That is Rick Smith. Rick Smith has got himself a new car, so it looks as if his pit stop has been beneficial, and he's got a new car. So Hugo Barbosa comes up on the back. Rick Smith doesn't offer any resistance to the pass, so that's good. So Hugo Barbosa in 9th place at the moment. Good drive from him. Back to Michael Acrudo in 8th place there, struggling to get to grips with Alan Nieves in 7th place, who manages to easily hold him off at this point in time. Daniel Rice still looking for a challenge on Drew Lidke, Kevin. So all these guys in sort of from position number 4 onwards are pretty close, and something could happen in the closing laps of this race still for one or the other to gain a position.
Yeah, I remember we saw a lot of action in the closing laps at the last round, and I've been watching Daniel Rice, and he's been staying pretty steadily about a half a second behind Drew Lidke. Never really able to close up very much. This is the closest I've seen him in a while. But just not really close enough to really do anything yet. So not sure if he's holding back, waiting for something. It looks like he's got a great launch out of Moss, so let's see if he can make something happen here.
Yep, he certainly did get a really good traction down with that BMW. He's on the back now. The draft should pull him in to Drew Lidke, who hugs the inside as if he's being paid to do that. And looks like there's no chance there for Daniel Rice to try and move on the outside. He falls in behind once again as they come across to complete another lap. Great driving there from Drew Lidke, perfectly legal. hanging on to your position because we are in the final stages of this race, Kevin.
You know, Richard, I'm thinking that the admins may need to reconsider the entry list here because the amateurs here, they've got 3 out of the top 6 spots and have been looking cleaner than a lot of the pro drivers we've seen tonight.
Yeah, you know, that's true. I was looking at that as well. Julie Redmond in 3rd place, amateur. Let's see, Tom Rathy. Now he's a lap car. Let's have a look at Ricardo Mendes. Ricardo Mendes is a pro. John Paquin is a pro. So positions 1 and 2 definitely pros. But Julie Redmond, we've got a P5 battle going on. Let's go to that, Kevin.
Yeah, there was some lap cars that they were dealing with coming into Moss, got through it pretty clean, but they are going to catch some lap traffic here, possibly in the S's. Not really where you want to catch them, so something exciting might happen here very soon.
Yep,
just trying to keep an eye.
Yeah, and we are talking about Drew Litke and behind him Daniel Rice. So Daniel Rice now closing up lap traffic ahead of them. This is going to be interesting. Yes, look at that, Kevin. Straight by Daniel Rice when Drew Litke hesitated there. Now he comes up on the outside. He goes in turn 1 on the left car there. Where is Litke at this point in time? Litke got held up by traffic. So Daniel Rice made up a position. And bear in mind, Daniel Rice is another amateur. And Drew Litke also an amateur, so quite right, Kevin. The amateurs are doing it very well in this race.
Yeah, it looks like Litke just wasn't sure what was going to happen with Jerry Hamilton. May have been going off track, he thought, hesitated, and Daniel Rice pounced, took that spot away. Well done. Now sounds like, oh boy, in Moss Corner, Alcrudo and Nieves stacked up. They got Z4s on both sides off the track. Man, just squeaked through, though.
All right, Michael Acrudo in 8th place. Alan Nieves in 7th place, just ahead of him. This battle has been carrying on for some time. It hasn't resulted in a challenge yet. And I don't think it will. Although we see there Miguel Acrudo closing up a little bit. And then the exit that Alan Nieves is getting. Oh, this is pretty close now, but Nieves gets great exit out of the final turn, goes down the front straight there and streaks away a little bit from Miguel Acrudo. I keep calling him Michael. It's Miguel. So let's go back to the Daniel Rice Drew Litke battle. That is kind of petering out as Daniel Rice is maintaining that position and that gap to Drew Litke as well. So going forward from that, Jared Lawson. What a good run from him, Kevin.
Yeah, nice run indeed he is having. One bit of news to pass on. Hugo Barbosa has retired out of that 10th place that he was in. He stuffed it into the wall on the entry on turn the last corner and decided to call it a night, if I can talk. But we're very close to maybe seeing the white flag this time by with John Paquin. Still got about a half lap though before he gets around.
Well, you know, Kevin, when you don't see the cameras on the leader, you know that leader is leading by a very large margin. So the gap at the moment is a little smaller than it was a few laps ago. It's currently 14 seconds on the last time by the line. But I would not read anything into that, Kevin. I just think that John Paquin is taking it easy with such a large lead and making sure that he doesn't do what others have done and stuff it up into a wall somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. He's backed off the pace quite a bit. Well, not quite a bit. He's backed off the pace to kind of mid-17s, which is about a second slower than what he's capable of running easily probably at this pace. Has allowed Ricardo Mendes to close up the gap, but at 14 seconds right now, I think we're going to see 2 laps to go this time by. I'm just waiting for time to Kevin, we got 2 laps to go. But, sorry,
2 laps
ahead,
to go. That's fine. I was just saying Lawson is about 1.6, 1.7 seconds behind Julia Redmond. We might yet.
Whoa, we got to go. Sorry, we got to go to Daniel Rice and Drew Lidke. Lidke spinning in the S's, nearly gets collected by that Rothmans Porsche. Troy Fagan, or excuse me, Alex Pearson manages to keep it out of the wall, but that battle is over. That's going to ice it for Lidke.
And we just saw that again there, and we're going to see it again on replay as well. Drew Lidke, good call there, Kevin. That was unfortunate for Lidke. So that changes his position a fair bit. He will fall back now into, I don't know, probably looking like past 10th place maybe. Oh, look at him. He nearly backed it into the wall there, but he managed to stop it on the grass, which is interesting. Now we go back live. Let's find out where we are right now. So,
one more battle.
Michael,
Tom Rathje looking to take over 12th place from Mike Reuter. They are side by side on the back straight. Looks like Rathje's going to have it. That car from Reuter is messed up, and Rathje's easily able to drive past him.
Yep, indeed. Tom Rathje picks up one spot, puts him into 11th place. Somebody we never spoke about at all. Let's have a quick look at Jason Lundy on our cameras. Now, Jason had a very, very good race at Brands Hatch. Not so good today, although he has still got his car in the top 10 here, Kevin, but perhaps a little bit below his standard.
Yeah, perhaps. Remember, he started in in the middle of the field, 15th, 16th? I can't remember exactly now. So I kind of would have expected in the middle of that maybe get collected up into something, but
all right,
bring it home.
I'm going to break right in here, Kevin. What I thought would happen has happened. Jarrett Lawson has caught right up to the rear of Julie Redmond. We got ourselves a battle here for the last podium position. Now, you have the time left on the clock. I don't. What sort of time do we have left for Jarrett Lawson to make a move as he closes right up on the back through Moss Corner? This is going to be interesting. Oh!
What? John Paquin is crossing start-finish right now. He just passed with 4 seconds left on the clock. Another lap to go.
Well, Julie Redmond got tapped coming out of Moss Corner there. We'll have to get a replay of that. She's in the pits. Jarrett Lawson tapped her on the rear. Let's get a replay of that one, and ruined her chances, any chance he had of staying on the podium. She is now in the pits. That is tragic. That is unfortunate. That is even terrible.
Sage words once spoken by a wise man. We are aware of, that's a heartbreaker for Julie Redmond. But John Paquin through Moss Corner right now, straight away to go, and he'll have the checker flag in his sights.
Yes, I'm still feeling bad for Julie. That was unnecessary, Jarrett Lawson, unfortunate there. But let's focus on our leader, John Paquin. Another faultless race from him as he comes now into the S's. He will negotiate the right-hander as we speak. Then he'll go into the left-hander and then take the final turn for the short run to the line. John Paquin, good win from John. Faultless driving from this man who has shown that he knows how to pilot that Ford GT. Kevin?
Let's go. There's still a battle going on right in front of John Paquin. David Anderson and Anthony James, they contact each other in turn two. Anderson into the wall hard, upside down. Anthony James, I think, also into the wall. That's an unfortunate end as well.
Gee, I saw that. The car, you'll see in a moment, folks, the car gets completely upended. Out he goes into the grass, sliding, no control, hits the tire barrier, and it flips him upside down, and he's gone.
Well, that was an exciting end there to what has been a very interesting race, I got to say, Richard.
Yes, sir. Just watching the cars finish up here now. Trying to find where's the last car on the lead lap. That's Brad Wren, and he is just coming to the line right now, finishing in 10th place. So the top 10 cars were the last on the lead lap. Well, folks, we are going to take a break as other cars are still finishing. Julie Redmond looks like she will be a lap down, but she will finish in 11th place. I'm really sad for her. She was running an absolutely great race. But we'll take a break and come back and wrap it all up for you. Back soon. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing channel and the 2015 Champion Motorsports Sprint Series, which of course is sponsored by Woody's Lures. And they are suppliers of lures and flies to make your fishing trip a huge success. Woody's Lures. Give yourselves a Woody today. Now, let us talk about the race once again, Kevin. So, a good race won by John Paquin. Let's go down through the standings. First place, John Paquin, in a total race time of 1 hour and 1 minute and 15 seconds. 9 seconds behind, 9.5 seconds behind Ricardo Mendez. Good race from him. Third place, Jarrett Lawson. Fourth place, Daniel Rice. Fifth place, Alvin Nieves. Sixth place, Miguel Acrudo. Seventh place, Drew Litke. Eighth place, Justin Brunner. Ninth place, Jason Lundy. And 10th place, Brad Wren. Kevin?
In 11th was Julie Redmond after that unfortunate end to her race. 12th, Tom Ratchie. 13th, Mike Reuter. I knew a Mikey Reuter. 14th, Alex Peterson. 15th, Peter Hebron. 16th, Robert Tarbox. 17th, Anthony James. 18th, David Anderson. 19th, Tim Collier. Jay Darger was 20th. He was 3 laps down. Go ahead, Richard.
And in 21st place, we had Jerry Hamilton. Then Darren Gonzalez, Darren Leslie, Hugo Barbosa retiring late in the race, Rick Smith, Christian Hoogveld, Troy Fagan, Jay Friels, Kevin Hennings, Sonny Prince. Now we're getting down into guys who retired very early in the race. Sonny Prince, Javier Torres, Warren McGarry, Simon Goodwin, and David Slee, and last but not least, Kyle Heron. I don't think he did any laps at all. Well, let us have a look at talking to some of the guys. So we are going to start with Jason Lundy. We will bring him into the booth, and Kevin will have a chat with Jason. Go ahead, Kevin.
Jason, you started 15th. You finished 9th. Not really where we're used to seeing you. Is Mosport, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Is this a track where you kind of struggle at?
Yeah, for whatever reason, I've never found Mosport to really fit my eye, so I do struggle here. So to come out with the top 10 is, I'm ecstatic with that after starting 15th and kind of being in the wars early on.
That was about to be my next question. We saw a lot of chaos all over the field, and in the middle of the field, you must have seen some exciting moments yourself.
Oh yeah, I was in some of them. I had a couple close calls with cars that had spun off track and managed to dodge them. It was almost like Brands Hatch the last time.
Well, it kept it interesting for us because certainly cars and battles kept springing up all over the place as guys wrecked off. But your car, it looked pretty clean the whole way through, so no contact and a solid top 10 for sure, right?
Yeah, and also with the help of some strategy, I decided not to take tires, which saved me, about 30 seconds in the pit, so that was able to vault me up into the top 10. And then unfortunately, I think Julie had an issue, which put me 9th. But yeah, I just kept my nose clean, tried to stay out of trouble, just tried to drive to a pace and see it to the finish.
So that kind of brings up, we've been arguing a little bit about what the best strategy is for tires with this series only being an hour long. Are a lot of drivers changing their tires on their pit stop?
I would say it's about 50-50 right now, and it just kind of depends on the weather and on the track layout. For example, at Brands Hatch, I found taking tires really saved me a lot of time at that race, but here I felt I could get away with not taking them.
All right, well, next up is Mid-Ohio in just a few weeks. How do you feel about that place?
Never been around there in a GT3 car, but I've raced in another series, and I really enjoy Mid-Ohio, so looking forward to that one.
All right, well, thanks a lot. I love Mid-Ohio, so I'm looking forward to it as well. Thanks a lot, Jason.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you, Jason, for having a chat with us. Now we are going to bring in John. Who are we bringing in here? Jarrett Lawson. Jarrett, A good third place there. I watched you throughout the race doing battles with the likes of Daniel Rice and Drew Litke. Great race from yourself. Tell us about it.
Oh, wow, I'm still kind of get off my high of my adrenaline rush here. Sorry. Um, it went great. Like you said, I had a battle with Drew Litka and Daniel Rice. Daniel was extremely hard to get around. Luckily, we hit some traffic. It was an accident ahead of us. I got around him, and somehow he got back around me. And then next lap, I got back around him again. That made a stick that time. But yeah, it went great for me. Other than the ending, of course. Big apology to Julie. I was so focused on hitting nail in the exit of that corner. By the time I realized I was going to hit her, it was way too late. So my biggest apology to her.
All right. Well, let's talk about that, Jared, because there's a little bit of I guess argument in the commentary box here as to whether you tapped her, sending her into the wall, or whether she was already spinning and you virtually couldn't go anywhere else except to give her a tap. What was your opinion of that? Because I hear you apologizing to her. Yeah.
My opinion on it was pretty much I saw her spinning, or I saw the rear end sliding out a little bit. It wasn't really a spin. Probably actually could have saved it if I hadn't tapped her. But unfortunately, like I said, I was super focused on nailing that exit. And I was actually going right when she started sliding to the right, just a little bit. And yeah, I really had nowhere to go.
Okay, right on. That does clear it up a little bit. So, because I thought, and apologies to you, I thought that you helped her, well, that you started it off and put her in the wall. I was corrected by one of the other guys who said that in fact she was half spinning already, as you mentioned. So she won't take it too hard then that she got the tap. Look, a third place in this company here in these cars is a great finish. I'm sure you must be very happy with that, Jared. Now, look, we're going to Mid-Ohio next a few weeks' time. How do you feel about Mid-Ohio? Have you raced there yet in these cars?
No, actually, I haven't much in the GT3 other than like solo practice sessions. So I'm actually excited to go there. The short, twisty tracks are actually the best for me. Not too great at the long, just big track. So I think I'll do very well there.
Okay. Well, thanks for talking to us, Jared. Congratulations on a podium finish. It's very hard to get that, and hopefully you can keep it rolling into the upcoming races. Thanks again.
All right, thank you guys.
All right, now we will talk to our winner of both races that we've broadcast so far, John Paquin. And Kevin, you are going to have a few words with John. Go ahead.
John, you started first, you finished first, you led every lap in between. How difficult was it out there for you tonight?
Hey, Kevin. First, good to talk to you and Richard for the first time. I started off planning on not taking tires, so I wanted to save them. So I actually tried to get away from Ricardo, and he was really quick. I couldn't shake him. So at that point, whenever I'd gap him by a second, I would try to take care of the tires a little bit. I tried to just stay ahead of him. And I don't know what happened in his pit. He pitted earlier than I did. I don't know if he got into someone or something happened to him or tires just wore out on him, or I really don't know what happened. I'd have to watch the replay. But then when I pitted, I didn't take any tires at all because I had such a big lead. And I came out, I believe 20 seconds ahead of him or so. And if I would have taken tires, I still would have been ahead of him by about 7 seconds. So I got to believe he had a problem because he had really good pace.
Yeah, we saw he went right on about the 30-minute mark and took tires, which we were a little surprised by. Honestly, we didn't think anybody was going to take tires. At least I didn't think anybody was going to take tires. And then that dropped him back in the middle of the field. And I think he just kind of got held up dealing with traffic. So probably not the right strategy tonight from Ricardo. But yeah, we were definitely wondering. We saw you early on kind of pull about a 2-second lead right away, and then Ricardo reeled you in, so we wondered what was going on there. But Definitely, you seemed like you had some great pace out there tonight. The car was handling well.
Yeah, the Ford's a strange animal. It's okay on this track. I felt like we were about equal. Silverstone we ran last week actually in a different series, and it just plows like a pig. I couldn't get it to turn. They really ruled me. But tracks that have just short turns, the Ford GT seems to do okay.
Well, next up in the Sprint Series is Mid Ohio. How do you think the Ford GT is going to be there?
Actually, I think it should be good. I haven't driven it in the Ford GT, but the only thing that could give me a problem is I think is perhaps some of the banking, the reverse camber stuff. That might give the car a problem. It's going to give everyone problems, let's face it. But I don't think the car struggles that much unless it's long, flat corners like Silverstone, where the front end definitely got front end grip issues compared to the other three cars in that scenario.
Right on. Well, an absolutely flawless run tonight. You kind of consolidate your lead on the championship a little bit, so that you can't be anything but pleased, I believe.
Oh yeah, that was fun. Definitely pleased, but at the same time with Jason and Ricardo and Hugo and all those guys, they could snap off 3 in a row any week, I'm sure. I'm sorry, any 3-week period.
All right. Well, again, congratulations on the win, and thanks for talking to us tonight, John.
Well, thank you. Good to meet you guys. You guys do a good job on the broadcast. We appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Yeah, John, just before you go, oh, he's gone already. I was going to ask him whether I'd seen him around the traps in the DP car. I think I'm right there. But anyway, he's done a great job driving this Ford GT. So, Kevin, this is providing us with some pretty exciting racing here. I'm thoroughly enjoying the series, and these cars, they are so evenly matched. And even though John Paquin is winning, you heard him say that it depends on very much on the track. So I'd like to see how particularly the BMW goes on some of the longer tracks. Because I think they seem to be better on the longer tracks.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I feel like the BMW strength is just kind of its steady reliability. Like, it's not great at any one thing; it's just kind of good all around. But again, we have seen, if I can speak proper English here, we've seen that in these previous 2 races that it seems like it's more about just keeping the car clean and out of trouble with other cars. That the result is more dependent on that than anything else. So I think that's going to be the key for the rest of these races we got coming up.
Yep, absolutely correct on that. Let's face it, it's difficult to pilot these cars around for 1 hour. You can imagine how they do it for 6 and 12 and 24 hours. But anyway, that is all for another day. We thank all of you for watching this broadcast. And unfortunately, it is time for us to close up right now. So we would firstly like to thank Woody's Lures, this series sponsor, suppliers of lures and flies for fishing. I'm not going to repeat that punchline again. It's too funny. We also thank, of course, the organizers of the series for all of their hard work in managing this and the other series that they run as well. We thank iRacing.com, XSplit, Twitch TV, Audio Technica, YouTube, Behringer, Ava Media, and others for providing software and hardware that we use in our broadcasts. We also thank our team today. Kevin, thank you. And Joe Peak, thank you for keeping us on track during the broadcast. If you'd like to find out more about us, GSRC, our website is the globalsimracingchannel.com. If you go there, you will find our full broadcast schedule along with the archived races and race highlights as well. We're also on Facebook at facebook.com Global Sim Racing Channel. You can also find us on Twitter at GSR Channel. Music is provided for us by Eric Ekholm. Thank you, Eric. Some great music. If you want to listen a little bit more, you can find it in TV commercials, movie trailers, iTunes, and Spotify have it as well. If you like the music, get on to Twitter and tell Eric where you heard it. at Eric Ekholm is his handle. We have a whole bunch of upcoming broadcasts which you may have seen during the closing break there. This coming Saturday, 21st of February, the MX5 World Tour continues its season 9 with a double header at Okayama. Both the full and short course will be run. On Sunday, the 22nd of Feb, we have Pacific Majors running on the Daytona Oval. They'll be running their Daytona 500 using the Gen 6 cars. On Monday, the 23rd of February, we have a broadcast of the 3 Wide Racing 2015 A Series, Oval Series at Talladega, and those will be running the nationwide B cars, the Camaro, Mustang, and so on. 25th of February, American Sim Racing Series, their truck series, race number 2 at Atlanta Oval. Then also the following Saturday, we are now talking the 28th of February, we have the Continental Endurance Sports Car Series, their first race for 2015. A lot of first races happening in this early part of the year. And that'll be at Daytona Road, and that'll feature the Mustangs and the little MX5 Cup cars. And finally, to round out upcoming broadcasts, Wednesday the 4th of March, we have the Lionheart Racing Series Season 2 race number 7 at Phoenix with the open dog leg. And those feature the DW12 Indy cars. So a whole bunch of broadcasts coming up, folks. We hope you stay with us and watch some of these, or at least the ones that do interest you. Thank you for watching once again, and as we say to any of our broadcasts in closing, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on track.